Hi, today we're reading chapters 17 through 19. We are entering a place where God speaks identity, promise, and purpose over Abraham's life, and ours too. Are you ready? Let's go. Book 1, First Book of Moses, Genesis, chapter 17. When Abraham was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, I am the sovereign God. Walk before me and be blameless. Then I will confirm my covenant between me and you, and I will give you a multitude of descendants. Abram bowed down with his face to the ground, and God said to him, As for me, this is my covenant with you. You will be the father of a multitude of nations. No longer will your name be Abram. Instead, your name will be Abraham, because I will make you the father of a multitude of nations. I will make you extremely fruitful. I will make nations of you, and kings will descend from you. I will confirm my covenant as a perpetual covenant between me and you. It will extend to your descendants after you throughout their generations. I will be your God and the God of your descendants after you. I will give the whole land of Canaan, the land where you are now residing, to you and your descendants after you as a permanent possession. I will be their God. Then God said to Abraham, As for you, you must keep the covenantal requirement I am imposing on you and your descendants, and after you throughout their generations. This is my requirement that you and your descendants after you must keep. Every male among you must be circumcised. You must circumcise the flesh of your foreskins. This will be a reminder of the covenant between me and you. Throughout your generations, every male among you who is eight days old must be circumcised, whether born in your house or bought with money from any foreigner who is not one of your descendants. They must indeed be circumcised, whether born in your house or bought with money. The sign of my covenant will be visible in your flesh, as a permanent reminder. Any uncircumcised male who has not been circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin will be cut off from his people. He has failed to carry out my requirement. Then God said to Abraham, As for your wife, you must no longer call her Sarai. Sarah will be her name. I will bless her, and I will give you a son through her. I will bless her, and she will become a mother of nations. Kings of countries will come from her. Then Abraham bowed down with his face to the ground and laughed as he said to himself, Can a son be born to a man who is 100 years old? Can Sarah bear a child at the age of 90? Abraham said to God, Oh, that Ishmael might live before you. God said, No, Sarah, your wife, is going to bear you a son, and you will name him Isaac. I will confirm my covenant with you as a perpetual covenant for his descendants after him. As for Ishmael, I have heard you. I will indeed bless him, make him fruitful, and give him a multitude of descendants. He will become the father of 12 princes. I will make him into a great nation, but I will establish my covenant with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you at this set time next year. When he finished speaking with Abraham, God went up from him. Abraham took his son Ishmael and every male in the household, whether born in his house or bought with money, and circumcised them on that very same day, just as God had told him to do. Now Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised. His son Ishmael was 13 years old when he was circumcised. Abraham and his son Ishmael were circumcised on the very same day. All the men of his household, whether born in his household or bought with money from a foreigner, were circumcised with him. Chapter 18. The Lord appeared to Abraham by the oaks of Mamre, while he was sitting in the entrance of his tent during the hottest time of the day. Abraham looked up and saw 3 men standing across from him. When he saw them, he ran to the entrance of the tent to meet them and bowed low to the ground. He said, My Lord, if I have found favor in your sight, do not pass by and leave your servant. Let a little water be brought so that you may all wash your feet and rest under the tree, and let me get a bit of food for you so that you may refresh yourselves, since you have passed by your servant's home. After that you may be on your way." "All right," they replied. "You may do as you say." So Abraham hurried into the tent and said to Sarah, "Quick, take 3 measures of fine flour, knead it, and make bread." Then Abraham ran to the herd and chose a fine tender calf and gave it to the servant, who quickly prepared it. Abraham then took some curds and milk along with the calf that had been prepared, and placed the food before them. They ate while he was standing near them under a tree. Then they asked him, "Where is Sarah, your wife?" He replied, "There in the tent." One of them said, I will surely return to you when the season comes around again, and your wife Sarah will have a son." Sarah heard in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, well advanced in age. Sarah had passed the age of childbearing. So Sarah laughed to herself, thinking, "After I am worn out, will I have pleasure, especially when my husband is too old?" The Lord said to Abraham, "Why does Sarah laugh and say, 'Will I really have a child when I'm old?' Is anything impossible for the Lord? I will return to you when the season comes around again, and Sarah will have a son." Then Sarah lied, saying, "I didn't laugh," because she was afraid. But the Lord said, "No, you did laugh." When the men got up to leave, they looked out over Sodom. Now Abraham was walking with them to see them on their way. Then the Lord said, "Should I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? After all, Abraham will surely become a great and powerful nation, and all the nations on the earth will pronounce blessings on another using his name. I have chosen him so he may command his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing what is right and just. Then the Lord will give to Abraham what he promised him." So the Lord said, "The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great, and their sin is so blatant, that I must go down and see if they are as wicked as the outcry suggests. If not, I want to know." The 2 men turned and headed toward Sodom, but Abraham was still standing before the Lord. Abraham approached and said, "Will you sweep away the godly along with the wicked? What if there are 50 godly people in the city? Will you really wipe it out and not spare the place for the sake of the 50 godly people who are in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to kill the godly with the wicked, treating the godly and the wicked alike. Far, far be it from you. Will not the judge of the whole earth do what is right?" The Lord replied, "If I find in the city of Sodom 50 godly people, I will spare the whole place for their sake." Then Abraham said, or asked, "Since I have undertaken to speak to the Lord, although I am not but dust and ashes, what if there are 5 less than 50 godly people? Will you destroy the whole city because 5 are lacking?" He replied, "I will not destroy it if I find 45 there." Abraham spoke to him again. "What if 40 are found there?" He replied, "I will not do it for the sake of 40, that I may speak. May the Lord not be angry, so that I may speak." "What if 30 are found there?" He replied, "I will not do it if I find 30 there." Abraham said, "Since I have undertaken to speak to the Lord, what if only 20 are found there?" He replied, "I will not destroy it for the sake of 20. Finally Abraham said, "May the Lord not be angry, so that I may speak just once more. What if 10 are found there?" He replied, "I will not destroy it for the sake of the 10. The Lord went on his way when he had finished speaking to Abraham. Then Abraham returned home. Chapter 19. The 2 angels came to Sodom in the evening while Lot was sitting in the city's gateway. When Lot saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down with his face toward the ground. He said, "Here, my lords, please turn aside to your servant's house. Stay the night and wash your feet. Then you can be on your way early in the morning." "No," they replied, "we'll spend the night in the town square." But he urged them persistently, so they turned aside with him and entered his house. He prepared a feast for them, including bread baked without yeast, and they ate. Before they could lie down to sleep, all the men, both young and old, from every part of the city of Sodom surrounded the house. They shouted to Lot, Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out so that we may have sex with them. Lot went outside to them, shutting the door behind him. He said, No, my brothers, don't act so wickedly. Look, I have 2 virgin daughters. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do to them whatever you please. Only don't do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof. Out of our way, they cried, and this man came to live here as a foreigner. Now he dares to judge us. Well, do more harm to you than to them. They kept pressing in on Lot until they were close enough to break down the door. So the men inside reached out and pulled Lot back into the house as they shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the door of the house, from the youngest to the oldest, with blindness. The men outside wore themselves out trying to find the door. The 2 visitors said to Lot, Who else do you have here? Do you have any sons-in-laws, daughters, or other relatives in the city? Get them out of the place, because we are about to destroy it. The outcry against this place is so great before the Lord that he has sent us to destroy it. Then Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law, who were going to marry his daughters. He said, Quick, get out of this place, because the Lord is about to destroy the city. But his sons-in-law thought he was ridiculing them. At dawn, the angels hurried Lot along, saying, Get going, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, or else you will be destroyed when the city is judged. When Lot hesitated, the men grabbed his hand and the hands of his wife and 2 daughters, because the Lord had compassion on them. They led them away and placed them outside the city. When they had brought them outside, they said, Run for your lives, don't look behind you or stop anywhere in the valley. Escape to the mountains, or you will be destroyed. But Lot said to them, No, please, Lord, your servant has found favor with you, and you have shown me great kindness by sparing my life. But I am not able to escape to the mountains because this disaster will overtake me and I'll die. Look, this town over here is close enough to escape to, and it's just a little one. Let me go there. It's just a little place, isn't it? Then I'll survive. Very well, he replied. I will grant this request too, and will not overthrow the town you mention. Run there quickly, for I cannot do anything until you arrive there. This incident explains why the town is called Zoar. The sun had just risen over the land as Lot reached Zoar. Then the Lord rained down sulfur and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah. It was sent down from the sky by the Lord. So he overthrew those cities and all that region, including all the inhabitants of the cities and the vegetation that grew from the ground. But Lot's wife looked back longingly and was turned into a pillar of salt. Abraham got up early in the morning and went to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked out toward Sodom and Gomorrah and all the land of that region. As he did so, he saw the smoke rising up from the land like smoke from a furnace. So when God destroyed the cities of the region, God honored Abraham's request. He removed Lot from the midst of the destruction when he destroyed the cities Lot had lived in. Lot went up from Zoar with his 2 daughters and settled in the mountains because he was afraid to live in Zoar. So he lived in a cave with his 2 daughters. Later the older daughter said to the younger, Our father is old, and there is no man anywhere nearby to have sexual relations with us, according to the way of all the world. Come, let's make our father drunk with wine so that we may have sexual relations with him, and preserve our family line through our father. So that night they made their father drunk with wine, and the oldest daughter came and had sexual relations with her father. But he was not aware that he had sexual relations with him, that she had sexual relations with him, and then got up. So in the morning the older daughter said to the younger, Since I had sexual relations with my father last night, let's make him drunk again tonight. Then you go and have sexual relations with him, so that we can preserve our family line through our father. So they made their father drunk that night as well, and the younger one came and had sexual relations with him. But he was not aware they had sexual relations with him, that she had sexual relations with him, and got up. In this way, both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. The older daughter gave birth to a son named Moab. He is the ancestor of the Moabites of today. The younger daughter also gave birth to a son named Ben-Ami. He is the ancestor of the Ammonites of today. Let's end today with a prayer. Father, thank you for being here with us right now. Thank you for the peace that settles in when we slow down and breathe in your presence. As we sit with chapter 17 through 19, I'm reminded how steady your love is, how you stay close, how you guide us gently, and how you never forget the things you've spoken over our lives. Lord, you said to Abraham, I am Almighty God, walk before me and be blameless. Genesis chapter 17, verse 1. And even though those words were spoken so long ago, they still reach us today. They remind us that you're not asking us to be perfect. You're asking us to walk with you, to stay close, to let you shape our hearts one step at a time. And Father, when you told Abraham, I will establish my covenant to be God to you, Genesis 17, verse 7, it wasn't just a promise. It was a declaration of relationship, a reminder that you chose us. You stay with us. You hold our lives with intention and tenderness. Help us feel that truth tonight. Help us remember that we belong to you, even when we feel unsure or unsteady. And Lord, when Sarah laughed, you didn't turn away. You didn't shame her. You simply asked, is there anything too hard for the Lord? Genesis 18, verse 14. Sometimes we laugh too, not because we don't believe, but because hope feels fragile. Meet us there. Strengthen our faith gently. Help us believe again in the things we've quietly stopped expecting. Father, thank you for being a God who listens the way you listened when Abraham interceded. Thank you for showing us that our prayers matter, our voices matter, our hearts matter to you. Let the person listening feel that deeply. Let them know you hear every whisper, every fear, every hope they carry. Lord, hold them close tonight. Let them feel safe in your presence. Let them feel steady in your love. Let them feel seen, known, and deeply understood. Walk with them through every chapter, the waiting, the hoping, the healing, and the becoming. Thank you for being gentle with our hearts. Thank you for loving us in ways that reach deeper than we can explain. Thank you for staying with us always. In your holy, beautiful, righteous name, amen. And join us on Wednesday when we read chapters 20 through 22 to 23.